Okay, what we're going to do now is build a jig for cutting the frets. So I've got some wood cut. Basically, I had a 4 foot length of wood cut 82mm wide on a table saw. I needed these sides parallel. I haven't got a table saw, but I got something to do it for me. So I've then cut it down to 3 pieces, and what we're going to do is build a miter box. Here's my fret template with the spacings. There'll be a pin in the bottom there. It will run in that with the fretboard glued to it, and then we can cut at the right intervals. So now it's a case of constructing this ready for that. So the first thing I need to do is the 2 verticals need a slot in them. So we'll do that. Trying to work out, I think I put it in the middle is best because then it'll support the there. And then transfer it down. So here, see. I don't want it right all the way through. Okay, now the cut's not exactly going to guide the saw. And the saw in question is this one, which is fret cutting saw. So it goes in like that. We'll raise the base up to set the depth, and it'll be pinned at that point. And what I'm going to do is put bearings on here, because at the moment it's got some slack, and they will run on the blade, and I'll be able to adjust them to set the angle vertically and horizontally. So that's the key thing. I think the next thing we need to do is get this set to the right depth. So let's put that in there. I'm not actually cutting that at the moment. The saw is going to rest on there, so to stop it digging into wood, I'm going to put some protection on there. So what I've got is this little piece of brass that's going to go on either side of that, just to rest that on and not dig into the wood. We need to mark that out. Okay. Yeah, the reason I drilled them all in one piece and then cut them after is it's easy to hold one big piece than 4 little ones. So. Okay, I've had to open the holes a bit. They weren't quite big enough, wide enough for what I was doing. So now the screws go through. Let's try doing that again. Should start that one. Okay. I'm using the square just to make sure I don't go close the hole up, the gap up. Okay, that's sitting down on that side, okay. So, what I'm doing here is measuring the gap I've got. and that's coming out at 16.5, and I actually want it about 5.2-ish. So I need to jack that bottom bit up .11.3 mil. So I need to find something that's relatively parallel and 11.3 mil wide. Okay, I'll have a look for something. Okay, I've been having a few problems convincing myself this is correctly set up. We need to put bearings on the side yet, because there's a bit of play in that, but not much. The saw is fairly square as it is, square as I can see on square. Squared that end, yep, where it's tied up. So now the problem I was having with the depth, every time I've calculated it, I've got silly numbers. I measured the saw cut depth and the depth here and the depth of the brass to work out what my gap should be, and it all, my numbers don't come out right, but I just had an idea. I want a 5.2 gap below the blade. That's a 5.2 millimeter drill bit. It clears there, it's catching there. 5.3 doesn't go through. Yeah, it's catching the teeth all. So I think that's as accurate as I'm going to get it. I couldn't get a caliper in there to measure that. So yeah, all I also remember I got these all these drill bits, and they're in 0.1 millimeter increments. So take that out of there. So I've got clamps on either end. I'm going to put a couple more clamps on then to hold that. They're deep enough to get across there. Yeah, should be. I need to find out a better way to keep all my clamps. They keep going to search for them. Right. I now need to fasten this all together. Okay. Got to quite decide what. I obviously need to put drill into here. Let's just mark it out. What's my depth there that I've raised that by? That's 11 mil. That centre of that will be 11 plus 25, so that's 25, 35, 36. No, 11 plus 12, 25. Centre, not the other side. Yeah. So put lines on there. And there. And I need to take them clamps off a minute. Somewhere along that line we're going to put some screws in. I'm wondering about using wooden pegs. Let me have a bit of think about that, and I'll see what I've got around. Okay, we're going to finish up screwing these. I thought I had some I know I've got some dowels somewhere, I just can't find them. So screws will have to do. So we'll pilot these all the way through. Don't want to split the wood really. battery's dying gradually on the screen. Like a new drill. Okay. Clearance them. Okay. And these are countersunk screws, so let's put something like countersunk in them. Okay. Then. I think I need to charge my drill. Okay, the drill's pretty much charged now, well, to some extent anyway. Okay. Now, I need to do the other side. The clamps are going to make it differently. That's what my ruler is. So. Okay, this is where I've got to so far with the box. I think I might have lost a bit of footage somehow, but the main box is now finished. The saw goes into here, we put the stops on, but there's a bit of movement that way and a bit of movement that way, which I expect. So the plan now, which I hope to finish, but let me explain that. I've got these sets of bearings which I'm going to put onto there at either side. You'll see that, and the saw will run between those bearings, and they will be on a bracket that I can adjust it so I can then set the angle correctly, because I don't think when I'm in a slot like that will get it accurate enough. Now the plan was to make a bracket, which I've started, and bend this around. It was a bit long originally, bend it around so that I could run that through the middle of it. But however I tried it, I couldn't do it. So I've had to go on to plan B, and what I've got going to get is some metal tube, the internal diameter of these bolts, that I'll weld onto there. So it will go onto here like that, and then these will go through the metal tube. Unfortunately, the tube's not arrived yet, so I can't really complete that, and I was hoping to this week. I ordered it 8 days ago now, so I'm going to put this video up as it is, and we'll do another one to finish it off, probably for next week.